The engine is starting up. 3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us?
Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is Rift Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
We'll talk about at the next second. I made it.
Oh my gosh. I'm sitting here going, I think this is going to get really interesting really quick. And for the last 2 minutes, I've been trying to get our guest to chuckle or whatever. And I'm watching her and she's like, I'm making no face. I am staying. I see you. So I'm going, come on, make a smile. And then you weren't gone. And I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those shows.
Yeah, it was all of a sudden I was like, what happened? And then I looked over at my little internet modem and it was like flashing red. I was like, what are you doing?
Good. So let's just get this done and out of the way before we may lose connection. Hopefully we will not. Welcome to the Orion Effect. I am your host, the quintessential cosmic surfer himself, Ed, the cosmic surfer, or the hitman, Odell.
And I am Rhonda Dowdy. How are you? Is everybody doing this fine Sunday?
I heard that too. You were like, how you doing, Ed? I heard that.
I know. It's rubbing off on me too.
I know. It's one of those crazy. Look, it's been a crazy weekend. And before we bring our special guest on, we take a few minutes and we chit chat between each other and chit chat with our chat. Make sure everybody knows you're welcome. And Robert, thank you for being here. I haven't talked to you all weekend. That is, of course, the other half of the Odell brothers. He says, I love the entrance. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It looks really good. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I tried to meet Joni's standards.
And she has set the bar high.
She has. He also said, tell me my future will confront the Antichrist. You know, sometimes, I'm just saying, sometimes. If it's the Antichrist, This is going to get fun.
You
Right, Kerrilynn?
know, if you want to meet Antichrist, whoever that may be, have at it. I think if you put it out to the universe enough, you will meet Antichrist.
I'm sure I'm getting ready to get a middle fingers text here in a second going, asshole. But hello, Danielle. Danielle has loud joined us. And Mama Susan, Raven in the house. Hello. Thank you for joining us. So how's your weekend been? Let's talk about the weekend, and then we'll bring Kerrilynn on because I can share too. I've got interesting.
Good. Yeah, it was a great weekend. Of course, we were out at Belgrove Plantation all weekend doing a paranormal boot camp, and that went really well. I think everybody had a really great time. We kicked it off Friday night with a meet and greet and investigation, and then taught all day yesterday. And then after dinner, we let them investigate, and we were just there kind of to help. And then we unexpectedly had a surprise guest show up.
Oh,
Yeah, we got a call from Michelle who said that Brian Kano was at Mary Washington teaching or giving a lecture, and that he wanted to stop by and say hi. So he ended up coming in and saying hi and doing a brief speech with the attendees. So it was really cool, really fun.
They got a little jump in there with Brian.
Yeah.
Brian's a good guy. Good guy.
Yeah. So that was really unexpected. He had just happened to be there, called Michelle and said, "Hey, I'm close by. Thought I would come see you." And she's like, "I'm not there, but everybody else is. So come on.
Join the fun." Yeah.
So that was unexpected and fun. So it was a really great weekend.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? Everything happens for a reason without a question. How the weekend has been set up. There was a reason why I'm here. You're there. I was not at Paranormal Boot Camp. It has been rescheduled 3 times, and unfortunately, this last schedule interfered with this weekend that I'd already planned, with it being Sarah's. Oh, hello, buddy.
Sorry.
I know. I was waiting for Molly to go, what?
Who's there?
Yeah, waiting for see how that goes. And with her magnificent weekend, the daughter's with me here, and we met up with some of my teammates and her good friends, and we had a great supper last night towards the end. We won't discuss. But after supper, did you freeze on me? Oh, thank God. I saw you just like this. I was like,
we're back.
So, thank good. And then after that, we had a great evening together and crashed and had a great breakfast. So for a non-paranormal spiritual weekend, I have to say it was well needed. So
yeah. I'm sorry we both missed the nightmare weekend out at the convention center. That looked like a great time as well. So next year. And I'm going to say this: we were invited. For those who had questions, why or if we weren't there or what, we were invited to be a part of it. We both had prior obligations, as you heard, so we couldn't choose it. But hopefully, Charles and the crew will accept us next year to have us come on. What a wonderful time. And a shout out to Ryan C. Jones and Crop and Vibe. Great job. Saw the pictures, and you guys did a great job. That's our sister station. So we'll let that know. Julie. Hello, Julie. And thank you for joining with us. Welcome to the Orion Effect. So I reached out to Carrie several months ago, and once I'm going to introduce you all, hey Keither, to Carrie and how I came across her. Then we're going to bring her on. Kerrilynn Shellhorn is the hostess of the Spirit Switchboard, and Laura Lee and Dave, of course, good friends of mine. Lori was on her show, and I went, wow, let me check this out. And I love the energy that Kerrilynn had. It was not your normal co-hosting. And what does that mean when I say that? Well, I was gonna say, because we're about as abnormal as they get.
Thank you. What a wonderful compliment. I appreciate that. Hey, Shonda. But she does have a really good style with her guests. You have different types of hosts and hostesses that are all through. Let's face it, we're saturated right now with vidcasting, vodcasting, podcasting. but she has a really comfortable energy that allows people to talk on her show. She's also a psychic medium, so I'm excited for us to be able to talk about that and see where she goes, and maybe we can get in some alien ufology. Okay, well, it looks like he agrees.
Gracious.
So, without further ado, let's bring on Kerrilynn Shellhorn.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Ed.
Hello and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited about being here.
Excellent. I told you I was going to get you on here. I was
Yeah,
like,
you did. You
find a
told
way.
me. So a few minutes before I was like setting up my office, my dogs are Bruce and Nora. So I'm surprised, I have got the headphones in so they can't hear. Otherwise they'd be chiming in today too. So, but I had this surprise for you. And so I know. Oh, yes. For sure.
Plan this. What the hell?
So I was thinking about you, and you just got that awesome, steampunky hat that you wear, and then I had my aha moment. So look what I dug out for you.
Yeah! Yeah! That's awesome.
That's adorable.
Now, Kerrilynn,
Yes,
you have to keep that on for the rest of the show.
I'll keep it on. It's all right. So I'm just going to do a shout out though. So this hat was made by Missy Moreau, and she is this fabulous, beautiful person. She has a wonderful spirit, this amazing creative mind, and she was one of the top 3 finalists of So Fierce drag designer competition show here in Canada. And I don't know, I think I bought this hat from her, and the proceeds were going to a fundraiser for the Humane Society, like the SPCA up here in Canada. So yeah, it like went to a good cause. It's fabulous and fun. Yeah, so I thought I'd drag my hat out and participate.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. I've tried.
We all want to fit in sometimes, we can't always feel like the weirdo.
Hey, I take it as I get it. No, I love it. I've tried to give Rhonda 1 or 2 hats. It doesn't.
They're going to be pulled out when you least expect it, and they're very close by. But it's kind of like I'm holding them because I need to throw a wrench at you every once in a while when you're not expecting it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I like it. I like it. Oh, let me hear. It says, "Oh, freeze the fall, yay, boy." I have no idea what you mean. Are we freezing, Rob? Let me know. Renee, hello, and thank you. Susan, hello, and welcome. Shonda's in the house. I love our travelers.
I do too.
I love the fact that Kerrilynn, you thought enough about us to bring the hat, and I think that's just amazing. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Look, I got a partner. So let's get into the nitty gritty real quick so we don't lose that time. We have 45 minutes left, and I'm like,
okay.
So
what do we want to chat about?
I know you can chat about anything. That's one of the reasons I loved having you on the show. I'm like, so Rhonda, check this out.
Okay.
We will just jump right into this. Kerrilynn also has a thing about owls.
Owls. Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna go a little alien. We'll talk a little alien real quick, a little ufology.
Sure. Let's do it.
Is that where we're gonna go?
Let's start with that. Yep.
This is my coming out story because this has like been a behind the scenes story that I've really not ever shared out loud with like a crowd of people. So yeah,
welcome.
We're gonna get all
how we do it.
some transparency. Here we go. Feeling a bit vulnerable.
Right.
So it was pretty interesting because we had experiences as a kid. I grew up in Northern Ontario. My brother, I think he was 12 at the time, was pretty sure that he had saw a UFO behind the barn. at our property. There's definitely stories of other people seeing that as well too. And I was reading the messengers. I'm gonna have a brain fart, but it was about owls coming as the messengers, and I just had one aha moment after another of our childhood, and I was texting my siblings, going, "Do you remember all these crazy owls?" And people give me owls. I have owls. I had a weird experience with just some weirdness. Definitely some UFO alien connection stuff for sure.
I do have some questions about that and see how you feel about them. I know you and I had started this discussion. I knew Susan was going to jump in.
Yes, exactly. Right, so the cover memory is where I went with my sister because it was interesting. My sister and my brother remembered different stories. They had different versions of the owls in remembering than I did. And when I asked my mom, my mom didn't have those memories at all. She remembered something totally different than what my siblings and I remembered.
Oh, wow. What did your mother remember?
She remembers one owl that was on the front porch that caught a shrew and then left. That's it. Yeah. My sister's like, there was one here, and here staring at the house for days. And I'm like, that's what I remember. And then I had a different experience, but it wasn't necessarily an owl at that point in time. It was further out. Like I was an adult and had kids. Yeah. And I was traveling through Northern Ontario, and there was a deer. And it was late at night. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I had like a cold face cloth, the windows down, the radio cranked because I was tired. It's 9 hours from where I live to get to my family up north. Mm-hmm. And this deer was running it. I remember thinking that I was really tired and I was kind of grumpy about not having somebody with me. You know, I was traveling alone in North. And so right after that, there was this deer appeared, but it was white-ish. It was whitish is the way that I could describe it. But It was running alongside my vehicle, but like not moving with the land. It was like running right sideways, and its head was turned, so it was looking in the passenger window, and it never looked forward. It just looked straight, but it was like not a normal color, not doing normal things, but it wasn't scary to me. It felt comfortable. And at the time I was really starting to do a lot of this work publicly, and I just thought it was like a spirit guide hanging out with me. I didn't think too much about it until more of these aha moments regarding alien connections, and then it was like, oh, maybe that's something too.
Mm-hmm. You know, and the reason that it caught my attention, I'm like, wow, you're just bringing another story that's catching my attention. The amount of folklore and myth and mythology, because there are some truths and myths. Mm-hmm. First, we talked about the owls. Now you're talking about the white deer. Mm-hmm. That's also another big symbol, if you will, mm-hmm. in many cases of ufology. And I'm like, mm-hmm. wow, you've got them both going on. Mm-hmm. You know,
I'm not really sure. Like, and honestly, there a lot of that just some of those memories were coming to the surface through the summer, and I had a little existential crisis through that, really, because I was remembering things that my siblings weren't necessarily or not really wanting to have conversations about too. So,
was that last year?
This summer, Ed.
Oh, wow. This
year.
Yes, Miss Rhonda. Oh. This summer.
Wow.
Like I'm. That's why I'm saying, okay, this. It's a fresh conversation that I wasn't sure if we were going to go there, because I think when you and I were chatting about it. Personally, it was just a few weeks out of me having the conversations with my family. Hey, tell me what you remember about these experiences and how often. And what is interesting is one of my kiddos, which I'm not necessarily going to out, not going to out that kiddo today, but that
today.
not today. Oh yeah. They all know, you know, mom's got a public job. Their stuff eventually ends up.
Hey, Jade. Absolutely.
Eventually. So that kiddo has had experiences now that I reflect back are definitely alien connections for sure.
Yeah, you know, and I have other questions, but I know Rhonda may have some. So I just want to say hello to all the new people that have joined us for the
Lots
first
of
time
new
too.
travelers. This is awesome.
Hi, Miss Jade. And
Oh,
yes, there was so
look
Awesome.
at. Okay, Susan said I have memories of witches trying to abduct me and my younger sibling. And what you were saying is something that started with me in 2022 with my family, Kerrilynn. And I'm like, that's exactly the same things I had spoken to Robert and our older sister about. And I know I've actually spoken on this with Rhonda about certain things. So I'm going, why I wanted to go here, because then it's going to lead me into another rabbit hole. And we got time for that rabbit hole. Trust me.
Awesome. No, I just find it really cute. I think what's sticking out to me is though the remembrances aren't the same, the owl is still front and center with everybody, even if the memories aren't the same. So to me, that's significant.
And when I was reading the stories, there's dates and specific years. And so I think that's where I would like to go with conversations as well too, is round about this time, because from what I was reading and researching as well too, those people that had these experiences and owls researching, you have a complete turn from what you thought your life was going to be and what your path and purpose was. And you're all of a sudden flipped into being of service in some way to this and having this bigger person, like bigger purpose that includes that collective consciousness of one. And so, and that was truthful for me. Like I was doing hair. I was a hairstylist. And then I'm like, okay, so I guess we're going to come out of the psychic medium closet now, because I've always, from the time I was little, had this ability. And now we're doing this and teaching and supporting kids who are intuitive and running summer camps for kids so they can be with like-minded. And it just went sideways. And that time period is when I saw that deer, actually.
Oh, wow.
As well too.
That makes a lot of sense too. That makes a lot of sense.
That's interesting, a deer too, because I've had a deer pop up like in an unexpected location. When things were really pivotal for me, I'd actually gone to the cemetery to lay flowers at my mom and dad's gravesite. This particular cemetery is in the city, right next to like the big NASCAR racetrack.
Wow.
And I happened to be there, and I happened to look over in the woods, and there are 3 deer sitting there, like eating, like they're eating off the trees, like off the bushes there. And I was like, this is unusual. Like there's a reason I'm seeing this. And that's when there was like a big change in my path as well. So I found that interesting.
Yeah. It was the color of this deer. Like if it was like seeing night through that night vision glasses, but that's kind of how it looked, like that white kind of translucent. I don't know how else to describe it, but like that.
Interesting.
A brilliant white light. I like the word.
I didn't look forward. Right. It was looking at me directly as it's running. And I'm going like in Northern Ontario, and it just seems to be gliding along at the same height the whole time.
I like what Jade said here, divine timing. And
yes.
You know, that's a best term you could use for something like that. Also, if you are tuning in from Facebook, please follow the highlighted blue hyperlink. Click in it. It's just allowing Restream to use your name. That's it. Now your profile, just your name. So us, the host and hostess, and our guests can see who's speaking, and we can signify you properly. Also, I want to sit here and say, let's drop that in. Susan says, cover memories for the white, right? And she also says a triangle ship that was outside. Oh, yes. Yes, we're going to get into a little bit of that. I don't want to get too much ufology because it's going to lead into a tunnel. I promise you, I got a game plan. I've got an angle.
Okay.
So I love these things. For me, what Susan said when she was talking about witches, for me, it was clowns. I don't know if Rhonda, you remember.
I do.
Yeah, I had a problem with clowns. Just a little bit of a problem with clowns.
That's the problem.
And actually, a couple years ago, I took my children out to a lot of the scare haunts, etc. And
Right.
the method actors there actually helped me get over that fear, which was really cool. And then I had a breakthrough and I saw the actual clown and why I had a fear of clowns. Anyway, this was rolling into that question of what she said, and good point. Hey, Kelsey. Hello, Donna. Hello, everybody. What I found was talking to my brother and my sister, the same experiences. So, like you were talking about your siblings, my siblings were giving me the same thing. And they were telling me different things. In fact, our oldest sister gave us a lot of information into possibly why. It's like she knew, but she never really talked about it until now that me and Kenny are finally going, oh, and she's now going, let's talk. Be calm. Yeah, okay.
I think I'm calm now, but I definitely was not in a good space when I was having all of these memories, and I had a lot of reproductive issues. There was a lot that I was trying to process when this was all flashing forward.
So that you just brought up another question for me real quick, if I may.
Okay.
Rhonda, may I?
Yes.
Okay. We find that in ufology and in a lot of people who have had third and fifth encounters, there is a fertility issues. My sister was one. I know several people in their cases who, after the fact of saying they had felt the experience, that clinically them having a child was almost deathly to them or to a situation. Oh, Cindy. Oh, I never talked about Cindy. That's our oldest sister. We're not going there. But God rest her soul.
Oh, dear.
But we found a lot of things they experienced. So
Yeah.
connections of the experience. Now, this is where we're getting ready to go to the rabbit hole. So I'm getting ready to take the trash can lid off and we'll jump in. But
I'm just going to have some of my tea.
Please. But the experiences with their siblings and what we see, this was only in 2022 for me. So here you are, you're doing the same thing this year. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of energy and a lot of information is coming out about self. So here we go. Before we go too much further, I see Donna said hello, and I want to make sure we say hello back. Hello, welcome to the show.
And I'm seeing Robert had mentioned time loss as well too. So I had that experience as well. It was what should have been a 50-minute drive, and I had to drive through where I was staying at a friend's house, and this was 10 years ago, about 10 years ago. And I had to drive through the field to get to this main highway, the main highway here in Ontario that runs right through like the 400 series. And I don't remember getting on the highway I don't remember the drive. I don't remember anything. And it was 2 hours and 15 minutes later, and what should have been a 50-minute drive. Right. But I landed on the people that know me and this area. It was Highway 24. So really 45 to 50 minutes is what it should have been. But I don't remember that drive at all. I don't remember.
Well, I'm not gonna try to focus too much on the subject. But I understand that Air family had to do with my parents. So we're still trying to figure out if the effects are from our parents or if something has happened pre and post our parents. So maybe we can have another conversation about this on another show.
Yeah, I don't know if I would ever get those answers, but I know that my dad has said that he had saw lights, and my dad's always believed in those sort of things, but I mean, getting any stories now is probably not possible. But I think for my siblings and I, we can start from there, and I don't know if I want to know all of it, to be honest.
Secrets can be fun, right? Secrets can be good. I think.
Well, I think, I'm not even going to say I think, I feel is a better way to phrase this. I feel that, what I just processed was what I could handle at this time while still being able to function and do all the things that I do. Yeah. And when I'm ready for another door to open, then I'll go there.
Keys to the door of the mind. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And that's a great point. And I'm glad we started out with the owls, because we're going to wrap this in this section up with the owls. Then we're going to move into the next one, which is about definitely you once again. But I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
In my opinion, when it comes to owls, and in a lot of the cases in ufology, Robert, you're going to like this one. And Susan too, a lot of the research that I've done in ufology has to, for some reason, circle around owls. Some people feel that it's actually the intoxication of chemicals added to our bodies, yet it from an outside source. I'm being really good about this, where perhaps good evening, perhaps where what we think we're seeing, owls, is really some form of suit. And the headpiece has two big eyes and maybe a breathing apparatus in front. I have a problem.
I don't know if I can go there.
Okay. No, that's fine.
I don't know yet. But I mean, I've not researched and deep dived enough to have those aha moments to go there. So I would have to process that and do my own little bit of research before I could go there. I feel, for myself and the experiences that I've shared, it felt like it was a precursor to something.
And that was another point. There's 3 points to this. And like you said, the messenger, there's a reason you're seeing owls. A lot of ufology is a lot of owls and other, as we just talked about. The other point is, was there alien activity? And it's through the owls, what people perceive. Again, what happens to our mind if it's under EMF, whatever, chemical, whichever. Now, that's just saying that. Now, let's go down the rabbit hole, shall we? After you. You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
So, and Rhonda and I have talked about this many times before. Now, because I have a habit of bringing things back up. You're a psychic medium. Do you feel by chance that with the progress from when you were younger to now, these activities have something to do with with the possibility of your gifts? Did I say that right, Rhonda?
Yep. Yeah. No. I would say yes. And I would say it's something that I would like to sit with a little bit more, especially when we're talking about, is there the potential that there was connection with something otherworldly generational within the family structure? Because my great grandfather, who was the original homeowner of the original farmhouse from where I grew up, he was written about in newspapers about his ability to read tea leaves and water wells, and he used to do all this kind of stuff as well too. So, how far back does it go? How far back does connection actually go, or is it this? But he's always sort of been prevalent for me right from the beginning. And it could be the land, because I don't necessarily have memories of connecting to the other side until I was 5 and I moved to that land and property where the house was, where the orbs and the weirdness. And my sister remembers seeing weird eyes in the closet, but I didn't have that experience. But she saw something in our bedroom, but I slept through it. she experienced that one. Yeah.
You just said something that triggered me, and I want to go to Rhonda and ask her about this.
Okay.
Land, where you grew up, the possibility of the effects on you in creating or helping bring out that ability. Holy crap. I just thought about that. I'm like, wow, never even thought about that before.
You know, I don't know that any of that's kind of tied where I am, because none of my family, where I believe the gifts I have, I believe came from my mother's side of the family, which was nowhere near where I grew up. But as I'm deep diving, because I don't know a lot of my family history, and my friend Candy's been helping me do a little digging on ancestry. It seems like as far back as we can trace, we were in the Appalachian Mountains, like on my mom's side of the family. But I don't know that had anything from where I grew up. I don't know, because that wasn't family land. That was just purchased land. So.
But that it isn't. You can correct me because I don't know a whole lot. But is there not a lot of folklore and rich, deep history too?
Yes. So I kind of think it's not so much where I grew up, but where I'm from, like originally, and from what my mother experienced and things like that. Because none of this was ever taboo with my mother. She just didn't talk about it, but she was very open about her interest in the paranormal, about her interest about ghosts, her interest about, I know there was people when there were ailments that the doctors couldn't cure, that she could call and ask questions, and there were little remedies passed her way. So I think there were things she just didn't talk about a lot. So
that's intriguing. This is all intriguing to me now, because it's like a whole new path just opened up when I want to.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I would have thought that it would have been like my paternal grandmother's side, like her family was all from Scotland. I would have thought that because that's so rich, but it was the great grandfather who was he was German. He was a German farmer.
German.
Interesting.
There's another. It's just so many little things that come together, and you listen and you think, you're like culture and religion and insight and feeling, bloodline. I would love to take an opportunity. This might be a personal project, I'm just saying, but to follow bloodline, to culture, to where the bloodline's from, to the abilities of what the individual may have. Man,
that would be interesting to know.
Yeah,
that would really be interesting to know.
Yeah, just amongst the people that I'm around, right? And I've always said this, and I hope nobody takes offense to it. I'm not a big believer in the mediumship, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in the person. Does that make sense? Let me say that again. I believe in the person. I may not believe in mediumship, but I believe in the person, only because I have my questions, just like y'all are talking about. I'm going, I get in that scientific mode, go, how, when, where, and to what extent? How do you have this? What is this?
Yeah.
But that's what makes a good medium. A good medium is going to do those same questions: who, what, where, when, why, how, and use all their senses. So a medium is still going to be left brain in. I shouldn't say all mediums. I know I am for sure. If I have to feel how you died, you better pony up some good shite, and here we go. Show me all the details. Like let's roll with it, right?
Give it up. So
I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to do the work, but this is what I'm needing from you in order to do that.
So I think what I'm hearing, and I agree with you, because that's how everything's evidence based. If I can't tell you something that's going to make you go, yeah, I don't doubt without a shadow of a doubt who you're connected with. There's no like, oh, it's a man, and I think it's like, if I'm not giving it to something to make you go, there's without a shadow of a doubt who you're talking about, then I'm not. Then I might not be with I might not be connected to who I think I am, but B, then something's off.
Right. Yeah, and you can feel when it's off.
Yeah, but how I feel like what you're saying, it's not so much that I feel like you believe in mediumship. You just are cautious on who you believe has it, Because if you believe in the person and their abilities and you trust what they say, then you believe. But I mean, honestly, I feel like if we aren't questioning it, like even us, but if there weren't people who question it, why are we even doing what we're doing?
We need to be open-minded skeptics, all of us.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's good. It's healthy to have that.
Yeah.
It's always good. And again, I'm not out to offend anybody. This is just, how I am. I mean, I am guarded, and I am that I've had manipulative situations in the past where people have attempted to come across to me as such, and they ended up being just like a joke. I feel, me personally now, I kind of feel like I'm more of Harry Houdini. His mentality proved me wrong.
Yes.
I know it's
you need a good Mina Crandon as your nemesis, right? Like,
yeah.
That's a crazy story, the two of them, though.
Yes.
Absolutely. But it embraces it. I think it equals balance out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
but he wanted to believe.
Yeah, he did, and I do. And it's I do believe. I just
because I know for a fact Howie has had people who came to him and tried to do some sort of reading that was not anything of the nature of what a reading would be. But you've also had readings, people work with you, and you've had the WTF moments. Like, how in the world do they know that? Like,
exactly.
But you've had both.
Yeah.
Right. And we don't know anything. We're just good at receiving the information. We don't know anything. Like, we don't know it. We're just receiving and sharing.
Yeah, and
as for a lot of us shut it down, as you know, because we don't.
I just want to buy my bucket from the hardware store.
We don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, no.
So, how did you get your show? How did you start your podcast, which is called Spirit Switchboard? Check it out on Fridays.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm excited to check it out.
Fridays at 5. How did it start? I'll just be completely transparent. I was getting super frustrated on social media with all of the cloning imposter accounts that were happening, and I'm like, had asked a friend who's part of the network, what can I do? And she said, let me start you on a radio show, like on the podcast. Why don't you just start one? And I went, do you think that will help me get that little blue check mark? Not that I need the little blue check mark, but it just helps you breathe a little easier. And I don't feel so responsible for the people that are potentially getting scammed, even though I know it's not my responsibility, but you feel bad for them. And that's really how it started. And it's taken off since there. I started in the spring.
That little blue dot that's there now, for them with me, that's me sitting there and them waiting with that pair of handcuffs. Go ahead and make a mistake. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. Like, whatever. I don't care anymore. It's been that way.
I get bombarded with messages asking me, is this you? Is this the real you? Is this the real you? Or, hey, I'm looking forward to our session on Sunday. And I'm like, I don't work on Sunday, so I don't know who you have a session with, but it's not me. Right. I'm really sorry about that you got in that position. So really that's how it started, was just, I think that, I've really I stay very busy in my lane doing my thing, and not have made an effort to really be part of a larger community. And so I was given this opportunity, and that's helped me that way too, right? I get to connect with people like you guys.
Right. That's exactly. You can get out and meet people that you probably would have never met before.
Yeah. And it gives me an opportunity to tap into talking about UFOs and aliens and Sasquatch and the things that I'm super interested in, that where I deep dive down rabbit holes on my personal time. And I don't do that necessarily for work. So it's giving me this opportunity to really connect with some fun people.
Yeah. I think, yes, exactly right. Because we get that moment. We need to find that connection of other people, like-minded individuals. and doing something like what we're doing here. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody has the personality. And like I was told, I'm unique tonight. So, okay. But it's a presentation like you have a particular energy. When people come to your show, there's an energy that you put on. And I can't explain it. I'm not going to try. When I do the show, they know I'm going to be neurotic at times, or I'm going to be calm, and Ron is there going,
Or
calm down,
serious, or
boy.
like, yeah.
Squirrel on Red Bull.
Yeah, I've had my moments that too.
That's
Plenty
awesome.
of those moments. But you know what? I draw people.
Yep.
People want to hear. And then the whole purpose I started doing this is to be able to teach people, help mentor, help them guide, get them in a direction.
Well, there's a difference and you can feel if you're genuinely connected and empathic, you're going to feel when people are heart-centered with wanting to hold space and those who need an ego stroke, right? It feels very different.
Completely different. And then I think in today's society and in vodcasting and podcasting, we're seeing that a lot. You can see, and I think that's why a lot of people, I know Rhonda had mentioned it, that's why we like doing videos. People can see us now, and we can see our guests. We're able to communicate better and see, because there's more of the visual there. People can see I'm not just a voice behind a radio or mic going goofy nut.
Right.
When you get me in the silver squirrel mode, hey, it's all good and it's fun. It's encouraging. I'm encouraging people. Rhonda's encouraging people. We're encouraging people. And we have somebody like you on. It is personal. Keith is right. It is personal.
Yes.
You make it personal. And I think with, the chat room that's been added in here, I think that's awesome, because I'm able to communicate. Ron is able to communicate, and our staff is able to communicate directly with the guest, not just listen to them like our old show. We've gone through 4 steps in this network.
Oh, really? Well, and that I think that's how everything should be, like evolving. We should all be evolving, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's good to change. It's scary. Like, I know we ventured out of this. Howie's like, "What are we doing? I don't know." He was a little bit. I was like, "No, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it." And he was a little bit like, "Oh, it's gonna take me a minute." But then the minute we did it, he was like, "This is the best." Like,
Do you get nervous? Do you get like those Christmas morning nervous but excited butterflies before shows?
I've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I would lie to tell you, oh no, of course I do. Because I'm always worried.
You care, right?
It is. I'm worried about effing something up. I'm worried about delivering the wrong message. I'm worried about delivering, hey, Facebook user, I'll get to you in
Mama drama.
That's okay. Jesse.
Yeah.
I'm worried, that we're not going to deliver that product. And that pumps me up a little bit. And what's going on right before the show adds to the energy you see. Sometimes I'm like, go. Other times I'm just like, okay, what's up? It's not always.
Well, you guys seem to balance each other out really well. It's beautiful.
She does balance it. Yeah, she is a good balancer. And we kind of.
I was a nervous wreck when we started this stuff. I remember the first show I ever did, I was a mess. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not a people person. I don't like talking in public. What am I doing?
Especially if this is if you are intuitive and you're doing this work and teaching, the world can get peoply, a little too peoply.
Yes. Yes.
It can. And I think this adds an area where you're not so directed at all group of people, except for in your chat, but you have your guests, so you can focus on your guest, but there's still that chat, and you can still handle the chat, where if you're in an event or something, people are coming at you left and right, and frontwards and rear and blah blah blah. Here it's organized, it's able to communicate. I can directly communicate. And, it's the same thing as a lot of people said. You want to do anything else? You want to know the truth? Nope. I do not. I've had my moments. I'm done. I'm happy with my home. I love my little fish tank.
That's awesome.
And I love the people that are with me on this journey now. That makes a world of difference. I think trusting, family mentality, caring, able to communicate properly comparatively to the past, that's a huge thing. And people understanding my vision. Where do I want to take the network? And do we have somebody in the network that, Lord forbid, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but if something happened to me, there's somebody that can take the reins and keep going. So I need this to be a self-sufficient direction that we're all going, that any and everybody can come in and go, Howie's not here. We got it. That's what I want. That's where we're headed to. And I think that's what we got. And that's a beautiful thing. So I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chosen family.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
Right. That's right.
And some of them are my blood family. So I will say
That's
that.
True. That's
you
true.
know, I have to chuckle at this. This is a funny one. Coming from, it's like we're the chipmunks, to be honest with you sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, how he gets nuts before show. We did this and this and that. Yeah. And then I have to get him on track. This is true. And then we get each other on track when he's on the show.
Yeah, I have a support system too. And Laura Lee actually is one of those people that supports a lot for me.
I met her a long time ago.
So, and she's with the Angel Rock and the thing at the foot of the bed with David Hansen.
Yes.
And Paranormal Network.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that she's got the 3 shows, and 2 of her shows are on y'all's network, which is shameless plug.
The UFO Paranormal Radio Network and the United Public Radio Network.
There you go. And you can find all of them on Facebook, YouTube, and most of your high-powered social platform.
Yeah. Yes.
So, taking your ability into the show, is that how you deemed your show now? Is that how you're molding it with abilities? Because I love the fact that you don't always have psychics or people with. You think
that came out probably a little bit more.
No, you're fine. I understand.
No, because I didn't necessarily. I mean, it was presented that if I wanted to do readings online, that I could do readings online. I really wanted it to be about the stuff that, where my brain goes, like what fills up my bookshelves: black-eyed children, Sasquatch, doppelgangers. I just wanted to have fun conversations with people that wanted to have those kind of conversations as well, right? And I think the place where I've been most mindful is wanting to be respectful of where certain stories or folklore come from, and having people from that culture be able to tell that if they wanted to, and not from a whitewash perspective. Please don't get mad at me for saying
No.
But I just trying to be super, especially being from Northern Ontario. My stepmom is First Nations, and I just wanted to make sure that things are, black-eyed children.
Yeah.
So, that's sort of been my focus in wanting to have these, with the show anyway, talking about the things that I don't get to talk about when I'm working.
Right. And that's a good point. Working, right, Rhonda? I mean, we're not out there constantly going, oh, look, we're the Rift Nation Network. Rhonda's not out there constantly doing her and Kim's thing, but they have their own, and she's with part of FPRI and ASPS, so she has a lot. I have a lot going on. I deal with the network. I deal with the team, and I have a life too.
Yeah. Which is funny because it is work. You do have to do some work to prep for your guests and all of that kind of stuff, but I still see it as hanging out. Yeah. I don't know if that's inappropriate, but like that's how I feel. Like I'm going to hang out and we're going to have this conversation and see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
And there's less stress about being on as a psychic medium.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You get it.
Yes.
You are the first person to finally actually say that on air right here.
Really?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people going, you want me to do readings or you? Oh my God.
I was like, well, please don't ask me to do that because I don't want to be an entertainment monkey for people when I just want to hang out and have a fun conversation, right?
And that's why I call this the Cosmic Coffee Table. We sit around, we get our coffee, tea, whatever your beverage is, we talk and, you know, let people get right. Cheers. We get people to know you. That's my job.
Yes.
I want people.
Yes. Because some people do, they think you should just like, you know, read on demand. And actually I have a t-shirt that says I don't read on demand because we're not, you know,
I have a plan.
And we aren't on all the time.
No.
I love to meet other psychic, like on this show. This is why I love the Orion Effect is I love to meet other mediums and psychics and see how they work. And, you know, I've never understood this competitiveness.
No, me either.
Because
I don't do well.
I love to hear how somebody else works because it gives me ideas and thoughts. But then to have the ability to go UFO, to go talk about Bigfoot, to like, this show will send me down a rabbit hole. Like, because now I'm like, oh, I'm going to go research owls. I'm going to do more research on owls.
It's
like I was writing stuff down because then I go down other rabbit holes when I'm done here. So
exactly.
Now,
I have a plaid shirt and it has a picture of cows on the back and it says I heard that, and I just think it's pretty funny for someone like me. That's what I just I don't need it to be about me when I'm out in public just grocery shopping, you know.
I did. You know, I've said this too, and this is an ongoing joke that this thing here is more popular than I am. It'll get noticed before I do in a heartbeat.
Right.
And, you know, it's become a mark, and that's cool with me. You know, I'm okay with that. I don't have a lot of people coming up going, I know who you are, but they'll go, hey, I know that hat.
Yep.
I hear that a lot. She'll tell you.
That's really fun.
Or if he is out there, the first question is, where's your hat? Like literally, if he's not wearing, where's your hat?
That's a good point, especially at events. I'm not wearing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
fun,
interesting. That's one of the things I would give to you. Find you a niche, a mark. You know, it's hard in today's society to find you, but I love the hat. I have to say it again. I love that.
This hat?
Awesome.
I love that hat. As a steampunker himself, I'm telling you, I love that hat. I think they did a great job on it. But definitely, you know, and it's not, see, I'm not, okay. Don't let me offend any travelers out there, but I didn't do this hat for you. This hat represents me. Everything about me. I've got 4 hats. This is the first one. And it represents time and steampunk and social issues and everything. You really have to pay attention to the hat, to what it actually says. It actually talks. I think that's intriguing. And I think everybody, we need to grab the attention of the people who are watching us. And we need to do it for a good reason. And I think you do it with your energy. And I love
and the porch, right? Like what I spend my morning drinking my coffee out on my porch.
That's it.
Yeah. And so people just seem to be drawn to it. And then it became a thing. And then it became a very big thing. Yes. And so I do this morning porch post every day. It's just sometimes it's teaching, sometimes it's inspirational, sometimes it's just, hey, I'm sending you out a squishy hug. Hope you have a good day. But it's a different mug, and just from sitting outside on my porch, having my, 5 minutes of quiet time, setting my intention, getting forward with the day. And it's just become a huge thing.
Do you like how I did that?
Yes, I did. You segued.
You set that up perfectly.
Yes. Beautiful.
So, unfortunately,
it's like you've been doing this for a while.
No,
I'm learning.
No, please. If you're learning from me, unfortunately, Kerrilynn, we're at the top of the hour.
Wow.
We are already at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Would you come back and join us sometime?
Oh, sure. There's still lots to talk about.
It is. Look, can we get a plug? Let's get you some plugs.
Do I have to wear the hat again?
That's up to you.
Up to you.
That's all up to you. I would like you to.
Okay. It'll be our thing. It'll be a thing. And then maybe Rhonda will surprise us with one of her hats.
Now I might have to.
Yeah,
I might have to.
I might get that match going. Okay, I need you to make me a hat. I need this on. I'm on it. Maybe, Rhonda.
Then it would have to be her story, right? Her hat
Absolutely.
would have to reflect her story.
Oh, that's true.
That's why I encourage people to make. I know we're a little. I encourage people. They talk about it. Can I get one of your hats? But I also encourage people make your own. I can't feel your soul. Your soul a lot of times will be seen in your hat or your expressions. And I can make it. I can see people like right now. I got Renee's and built. I've got Keith Ottersberg's being built, but I know them well enough and I feel that and I know their energy to be able to go, I got you. But I really encourage people, if you like this kind of stuff, and it doesn't have to be steampunk. Oh my God, you can get weird.
Oh, but steampunk is fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
So my head is work in progress. Yes, it is. And I'm almost finished with it. Thank you, Lord, that now Spirit of Halloween is open. I can go get what I need to finish and get it off to you. But yeah, Kerrilynn, let's get a plug out there. Where can people find you? Your network, you're involved.
Okay, so you can find me at kerrylynshellhorn.com. That's my website. I do have a monthly newsletter that goes out, letting you know where I'm at, who the guests are going to be on the show. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is the original Kerrilynn Shellhorn. And the show is Spirit Switchboard, Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
And where can they find it again?
Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Hulu. It's everywhere. And then wherever the podcast platforms are.
Wherever podcast platforms are.
Everywhere.
You haven't experienced the life.
Yes.
So on that note, it is the end of that hour, the end of the time where we must end the show. Kerrilynn, I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for coming. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having. It was nice meeting you.
Yes, you too. I can't wait till next time.
Oh yeah. And travelers and those alike, make sure to tune in and help out, support. If you wish to help out the network, we do have a donation. We are accepting donations. That's just to help us keep running and get our promotions out there and coffee cups and stuff like that, which will be coming back out. A free coffee cup. You get a free coffee cup. Nobody's tried. It's your turn. Try to get your cup.
That's fun.
But we want to thank you. Make this a great week.
Yes.
If last week sucked, well, this week can be a whole lot better. Yesterday's gone. Today is a present. Accept the gift.
Yep.
Did I say that? And other than that, just, make tomorrow better for yourself. We can always do better every day. Just grow. And as always, exactly. And as always, may virtue be yours.
And be good humans this week.
Right.
Or we'll come get you.
That's right.
Live your best life.
That's it.
That's all for us now. Till we meet again.
Next week, same time.